Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. If you're doing this recording or if you're practicing live, welcome. We are on the day after a new moon in Cancer, and this new moon energy has been a little weighted and a little heavy. I'm saying a little, but it's actually a lot. And if you are in tune with the elements of nature, if you practice on Friday with the movement, the entire weekend was saturated with rain. Even though it's summer, and I want to point this out because it's not just global warming and what's happening. The Rishis believe that when we get in touch with our subtle body energy and when we attune to the subtlety of what's happening in nature, the elements, the forces that are unseen that we experienced, typically we're supposed to be in the height of summer. And yet we're getting these torrential downpours. Water is associated with, the water element is associated with the sacral chakra, is associated with our creativity, our ability to manifest. But we cannot create and we cannot manifest unless we are, you can't paint on a canvas that's already painted. I mean, sure you can repaint it, but that emotional residue, it's almost as if what's happening right now on a collective level that's calling us to be aware in the outside, but also the reflective inside of us, instead of feeling fiery and light, which is what Pitta season is about, you might be feeling what is typically experienced in spring, which is humidity. It's that heat and that waterlog, that dampness of the body. It's almost as if you're being watered too much. And there is a point of being watered too much, right? There is a point where, and you see it, we see it when, if it rains too much in one region, that's where mudslides happen. That's where landslides happen. To bring it into the new moon energy, to bring it back into Vedic astrology, it's happening to clear out, to really flush out. It's almost as if our bodies, our mind, our energy centers, enough. We've hit the brim on a societal, on a collective, on a, depending on what your personal reincarnation is. Some of you might be hitting that point where it's like, I've had enough. It's time for me to flush out the Vishuddha chakra. It does not necessarily mean now I'm going to take a stand and speak more, but it's, I'm done saying the same thing over and over. I'm finished taking the same actions and hitting my head against a wall. It hurts. The only person that's being harmed is me. Okay, that's a redirection. So this purging, the image of floodgates is coming through. It's almost as if we're doing a saltwater flush, but the universe is doing a saltwater flush for us, right? It's that energetic flushing, not just of the physical body, if you're doing a saltwater flush to cleanse the toxins, but the emotional body. And today's breath that we're going to take, we're going to go into what's called a box breath. And if you've never done that, that technique with me, we will start to gradually increase the breath. And the box breath literally is, we inhale for a certain number, you pause, you retain that breath, kumbhaka. You retain that breath and you pause it for the same number, same count, then you exhale it for the same number. So let's use the number 3. Then you pause for 3 counts. Inhale for 3, hold for 3, exhale for 3, pause for 3. Then we increase it to 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to 9 today. 9 is the number of completion. And it might feel as if you are struggling with the breath. If for any reason, I don't want you to feel like you're forcing. If you need to bump it down, listen to your body. When we force and we over purge, it's kind of like, there's a point where you can over purge. Let's take a saltwater flush, since we used that example. You might feel very dehydrated after. You might feel a little thirsty. You might feel as if you are really hungry an hour or 2 after, and that's because you've eliminated all of the, anything that has been weighing you down, so now you're ready to feel new. You never want to then eat a huge, large meal. You'll give your body a little nourishment, a little fruit, so that way it's easing back in. Same thing with this breath call. If 6 is too much, if 8 is too much, if 9 is too much, bring it back down and you stay at that number. Any questions on this box breath? Okay, cool. Find a comfortable seat. I'm sitting on two bolsters right now and a blanket. And you can start with your palms down if that feels comfortable for you. Palms down is a symbol of giving to yourself. Palms up is a symbol of receiving, right? One hand up, one hand down is also a symbol of giving and receiving, but follow the inclination of what your palms naturally do today. If you feel like you've been giving a lot of energy out, palms down. Just take a moment now to let your body settle into the shape, this posture, this seat. And just draw the awareness to how your body is breathing you. I'll say that phrase again. Draw the awareness to how your body is breathing you right now. Notice if you are tilted forward and if your rib cage is a little 𝗔𝗿𝘁𝘀𝘁 or a little too pronounced forward. Could be a sign of anxiety, future-oriented. Notice if you're a little tamasic, if your shoulders are rounded and you're sitting back into your sits bones. Could be a sign of depression. Could be a sign of a little lethargy. Without over-efforting, see if you can let your head float like a bobblehead, lightly on top of your shoulders. And we'll start with the count of 3 going to 9. Let's inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3. Pause and retain the breath for 1, 2, 3. Exhale the breath for 1, 2, 3. Pause on the empty. 1, 2, 3. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, gentle retention. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentle retention. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 7, 6, 5. Sorry, that's exhale. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6, 5, 4. Inhaling. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Pause, hold. 3, 2, 1. Keeping the eyes closed. Observe the rise and fall of the breath. Observe your rib cage. Observe how the breath is breathing you now. Notice any subtle shifts you might have experienced with that ascending and descending, crescendo and decrescendo of the breath. Breath is the one aspect we have agency that is both voluntary and involuntary. And when we manipulate the breath, we can bring ourselves into a state of groundedness, centeredness, and balance. Keep the eyes closed and visualize right at the top of your crown a hovering electromagnetic field of intelligence. We are not matter. We are light waves and sound waves. And feel and see in your mind's eye pure light moving from the top of this electromagnetic field. Let it move from the top of your crown down your spine to right in front of your sacrum, Khanda. It's the cave where Shakti, pure, raw, feminine energy exists. And as you exhale, feel that light like a surge plug charging and transforming, illuminating every cell of your body. And the sound of the inhalation is Sa, the sound of pure intelligence, pure light, pure potential. Hum is the sound of the transformation, that distribution of intelligence. Stay in this almost tantric-like state, this intimate state inside of yourself, and float the arms out to the side. Inhale, stretch the arms wide, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, draw the chin towards the chest, interlace the fingers. Hum. Breathing in, opening up to light, radiance, magnetism, stretching the arms wide. Breathing out, interlacing and rounding the shoulder blades, protracting the shoulder blades away from you. Take this a few more times on your own. We're all going to move differently, and I invite you to move at the rhythm of how your breath is now calibrated for your constitution, your body. Don't have to force anything, don't need to move like anyone. When we move the spine in 6 different ways, we allow ourselves to connect like a supercosmic highway to that field of intelligence. The downloads become clearer, wisdom becomes louder. The next time you round forward, again, no rush at all. Take as much time in your body honoring your breath, your prana. Keep the fingers interlaced and reach the palms straight up. Palms reach up to the ceiling or the sky. Tailbone reaches down. We're going to twist over to that right side. Right hand behind you, left hand on top of right thigh. Where can you soften here without overextending, without forcing? Biceps long by your ears as you slowly unwind. Let the breath govern the movement. Breath moves first like the pilot. The body follows suit like a co-pilot. Interlace the fingers the opposite way, less dominant hand now in front. Palms high, tailbone reaches down. Twist it over to the left side. Left hand behind you, right hand to the outside. Spine long. You might even see it in your mind's eye, that creative life force You might see a silver thread or a golden thread tethering you, connecting you from crown to base. Sa on the inhale, hum on the exhalation. Take a smooth breath to inhale as you slowly unwind. Draw the biceps long by the ears. We're going to draw the right hand down to the side, lateral flexion today. Right hand over to that right side, left arm long by the ear. Anchor into the left side hip bone. Feel the stretch from the last rib all the way to the outer hip. And then slowly draw that right arm to meet the left. Might even lift the gaze. Look up at the thumbs. Left hand to the outside. Right arm bicep long by the ear. Stretch the breath. Side bend here. Right hip anchoring down. Spaciousness between chin and chest. Slowly let that left hand meet the right. Notice how much more spaciousness you have in your abdomen. Palms down the midline of the body. Thumbs at the heart. What is it that you are moving through? What is it that you need from your practice today? Invite that. And if you don't know, bring the openness of being shown what wisdom is already inside of you. Let yourself be a vessel to receive. We'll chant the sound Om today. You can join me or simply receive. Take a deep breath to inhale. Chin to chest. Stay intimate, soft gaze with the eyes. Float the hands to the tops of the knees. Let's come up onto hands and knees. We'll take cat-cow. Again, just lubricating the spine. There's a reason we practice certain postures. And as you stack your shoulders over your wrists, broadening across chest and collarbone, feel free to close the eyes here. Exhale, navel into spine. Hum. You might play today with actually sounding the sound out. Say it if you can. Sa. Hum. On the exhalation. And then notice if you're moving a little bit slower than what your mind probably came in to practice already with. The beauty of being able to take this box breath is that it trains our mind to cease, and it allows the breath call of prana, it allows the organs, it allows us to follow suit of what is cosmic alignment. We can't see or touch or taste or hold the breath, right? We can't see electricity, but we can feel and see the effects of when electricity makes a light bulb turn on. Same thing here. We're going to come to neutral spine. Pause here for a moment. We're going to extend our right leg behind us. So peek up, notice that my belly isn't swaying, so drawing that navel into spine. I want you to extend that right heel behind you and really scrub your heel as if someone is pulling your heel back. It's a very deep calf stretch I want you to feel right now. And we're going to pour the weight into the right hand. Right leg is going to lift up. We're just going to fire that leg. Left arm could be long by the ear. That's optional. If it's too much, bring it right back down. Right? Just notice where your body is today. See if you can trace that line, crown to base. Without overstraining, left hand's going to come down. We're going to cross this right foot over to the left side. All 5 toes face forward. Now peek up for a moment. This right hip tends to drop down. I want you to level the pelvis, so lift it up slightly, and then turn your drishti. Gaze over that left side shoulder and see if you can look at that right big toe. You're going to feel an opening happening. Keep drawing that right hip up, not too much, but just to the point where the pelvis is leveled. Then we're going to draw that right knee underneath the right side hip. Wag your tail here. Again, if you need to pad your knees, I have a blanket out. I'm not using it at this moment because I have some sweats on today. But if you need to pad your knees, absolutely do so. Those of you that dance with me on Fridays know that I always have my knee braces on. So again, just listening to your body. Neutral spine one more time. That means that the eyes, the 𝗔𝗿𝘁𝘀𝘁 is slightly in front of you. Little micro bend in the elbows, and the soft part where the eyes of the elbows are wrapped towards the front. This helps us to grip the mat. Now from here, firm through the thighs, right instep presses down, left heel scrubs against, as if someone's pulling your heel. Feel that traction in your spine. Feel that left calf opening up. Calves are similar to the liver. They help to flush out the toxins in the legs, and they're often very neglected and quite tight. We're going to lift that left leg straight up and back, right? Eyes soft here. Notice if you're hardening. Maybe you'll pour your weight into the left hand. Maybe that right arm is going to reach long by the ear. Firm through the thighs here. And see if you can soften. Softening the gaze, softening over-efforting. Right hand is going to come underneath the right side shoulder. If it was extended, we're going to cross the left foot over to the right side. Make sure all 5 toes are facing forward. And same thing here. Just lift that left hip up a little bit. Turn and look over that right side shoulder. Find your left toes. Notice the elongation that's happening on the outer part of the left side body here. If you practice with me regularly, it's kind of similar to the same feeling of when we take banana asana. One more smooth breath here. And that left knee is going to come underneath the left side shoulder. Pause here. Wag your tail side to side. And we're going to actually take a little wrist stretch. So flip your palms. Fingers are going to face the knees. Wrist face your front of your mat. And you can rock a little bit forward, a little bit back here. Wrist strength takes a very long time to get, right? It doesn't happen overnight. It's not like working on a bicep muscle. And we're going to flip the palms the opposite way. So now the fingers are going to move towards the toes, the backs of the hands. Move forward. Super important to stretch the wrists. Now let your palms face down. Walk your hands a little bit in front of your shoulders. Tuck your toes. And with resistance, lift your knees, lift your hips. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Pedal your heels and shake your head side to side. Might trail your lips. Can even open up the mouth and sigh the breath out. I'm going to take a little variation today on our typical class. You're going to lift that right leg up. Inhale. All 5 toes pressed down. Exhale, kneeling lunge. Right foot's going to step in between the hands. Lower your back knee. Few options here. You can use your blocks. I always like to use my blocks as a little gateway, a little prop up. Feel a subtle lift of your pelvic floor as the tailbone moves down. Lift the arms straight up. We're going to take a twist. Bring your palms down the midline of your body. Pause. Thumbs to the heart. A little twist over to that right side. Now anchor in the big toes. Lean forward, friends. Maybe hook that left elbow to the outside of that right foot. Top hand presses firmly to the bottom hand so you feel that extension opening in the back. Grow the spine long. You can stay here, you can tuck the back toes, you can lift that knee if you feel a little bit inspired today. If it's too much, come back to a place that feels good for you. Grow the spine, one more smooth breath here. If that back knee is lifted, lower it down, biceps long by the ears. Inhale. Exhale, step that left foot to meet the right. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale to lengthen. Nice long flat back here, one step forward. Listen carefully. Generous bend on your knees. Slide your palms underneath, palms face up, step onto your hands. Parahastasana. So the whole hand slides underneath. You can nod your head, you can shake it side to side. Keep your belly on top of your thighs as you step onto your wrist. Toes, big toes all the way up to the wrist. Lift your tailbone. So again, we're not going here to straighten the knees, but to keep the belly on top of the thighs. And then release your hands. Walk your hands up the fronts of your body. Tuck your chin towards your chest, one step at a time. Plug in. Palms face forward, samastiti. Listen carefully. Shift your weight over to that left foot. Inhale, draw right leg off of the ground. Few options. You can peek up here. You can lift that right foot up. Eyes steady on one point. You can draw it all the way up, depending on how you feel. Maybe you interlace your fingers. You draw that right knee close to the chest. Don't get too comfortable. One more smooth breath here. Let go of this right knee, biceps long by the ears. Inhale. Listen carefully. Step that right foot back. Find your lunge. Lower your back knee. Untuck your toes. Palms down the midline of your body. You're going to pause here for a moment. Little lift of the heart. Tailbone moves down. Thumbs to the heart. Twist it over to the left side. Notice if the thumbs are over by your shoulders. Can you keep them in the middle of your heart as you diagonally lean forward? Maybe that right elbow hooks to the outside of left thigh. Top hand presses firmly into the bottom. Spiral and grow the spine long here. Ujjayi breath sounding like the ocean. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you tuck the back toes, completely optional. You try for balance. You lift that back knee up. Not at the expense of hardening, gripping, forcing. Balance is on the inside. Exhale, release that right knee down. Biceps long by the ears. Inhale as you unwind. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Make this your own. Option today, you can hold your down dog, you can take a child's pose, or we're going to flow a little differently today. You're going to lift your heels, wave through your spine, come to plank. This is all completely optional. From here, with or without your knees, you're going to lower down, Chaturanga, belly all the way down to the earth. Don't get too attached there. Come straight back up. Tuck your toes, come back to down dog. So it's not a push-up, right? But it is that resistance, that play that's happening. Building strength, but using breath. Smooth breath here to inhale. Open the mouth. We take that left leg up. Inhale, stretch breath. All 5 toes pressing down. Exhale, left foot in between the hands. Help it up. Hands to blocks if you need. Give yourself the props that you need to find the alignment. Alignment is always inside. Pelvic floor lifts, biceps long by the ear. Should be feeling a good stretch on that back thigh. Thumbs down the midline of the body. Thumbs to heart. Twist it over to the left side. Option to lean it forward and hook that right elbow outside left thigh. Press top hand down, grow the spine. That line of energy is moving through the top of the crown. Option to lift that back leg up, not at the expense of losing the breath. Where's the balance today? Smooth breath here to inhale. Listen for the sa and the hum. Exhale, right knee comes down. Untwist, biceps long by the ears. Hands to blocks. Tuck your back toes, one step forward, flat back. Inhale, grow the spine. Stay tantric, stay very intimate in your practice. Exhale, belly towards the thighs. One more time here, step onto the hands. Padahastasana. Pada means foot, hasta is hand. Asana is seat. Grow the spine long here. Inhale to lengthen. You want to feel a little traction in the low back. Exhale as you deepen and pour forward. And again, keeping that micro bend helps to release the low lumbar, bring spaciousness to the sacrum, which is what we're focusing right now. No compression of the sacrum, but creating more spaciousness in the low back. Release your hands. Walk your palms up the front of your body. That hand to thigh, that hand to front body connection helps us to stay present. Plug in. Samastiti. Palms face forward. Circle the arms around and up. Stay steady in your practice. Urvahastasana. Exhale, palms down the midline of your body. Shift your weight over to the right foot. Lift that left heel off of the earth. Doesn't have to be high. Depending on where you're feeling steady, maybe you interlace your fingers. You draw that left knee in. Right? So this is the standing version of what we did last week. Listen carefully. Step that left leg back, find high lunge, one step at a time. Lower that left knee down, find kneeling lunge. Eyes steady as you bring the palms down the midline of the body. Feel that lift of the pelvic floor. So you're not moving forward, but you're growing. Spine is elongating, twist it over to the right. Thumbs in the middle of the heart. Maybe you hook that left elbow to the outside of right thigh. Right hand pressing down. Very deep opening that's happening on the psoas, on the front of the calf, the front of the thigh. Option to tuck your back toes and lift that back leg up. Keep steering that right hip behind you. Not quite on a tightrope here. Smooth breath here to inhale. Feel your spine grow long. Then exhale, release that back knee, biceps long by the ears. Inhale. One count steps back, exhale to down dog. Make it yours, use the full breath. So you're hearing me exaggerate that ujjayi breath, right? I'm doing that so that way you can hear what that sounds like. Option here, you can hold down dog, you can take a child's pose, or you can lift the heels, wave through the spine, coming into plank. Resist here. With or without your knees, we draw the elbows straight back. Smooth breath. Exhale, belly touches all the way down. Inhale, come straight back up. Exhale, back to down dog. You might already start to feel your body generating heat. All right, we don't have to move fast in order to create heat, fission. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. Open up your mouth and sigh it out. Let's put a little micro bend in the knees. A little balance work here from down dog. Left hand stays on the mat. Right hand is going to touch your left thigh, your left calf, or your left ankle, wherever you can reach. Now see if you can look underneath that left armpit. Gaze up at the ceiling. It is challenging. Draw that right hand back down. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. Left hand to the right calf, the right thigh. Gaze underneath that right side armpit. Stay steady. Left hand comes back down to the earth. Inhale that right leg straight up and back. Roll the right thigh open. Bend your right heel over to that left side. Now pay attention here. Peek up at me. Notice if you're favoring one arm or the other, right? So the shoulders stay clear, steady and parallel. Option here to lift that left heel. Stack your shoulders over your wrists and take rock star pose, Las Vegas pose. She's known by many names here. Flip the dog. What feels right for you? Right hand is going to come down. Right foot is going to step in between the hands. Listen carefully. Hands are going to go to your blocks. Fingertips to your blocks. Warrior 3. Shift your weight forward. Left leg straight up. You're steady, grounded. Maybe the thumbs stay to the heart. Eyes drishti soft, eyes gazing at one point. Listen carefully, little bend on that right knee. Draw that left leg in. You can hug it in if you'd like. Samastiti. Left leg next to right, palms face forward. Pause here for a moment. We shift the weight over to the left foot. Draw that right leg up. Open up that right thigh. Find your tree pose. Above or below the knee does not have to be high. Option to take full Vakrasana. Index finger and thumb touch. Maybe gaze up. Again, not about the height of the leg. Can you feel your feet pushing down, your heart lifting up? Grounded, steady, open. Right leg next to left. Samastiti. Plug in. Feel yourself as if you're growing and expanding roots. There are bandhas at the soles of our feet that connect us 8 feet, energetic field, 8 feet below the earth's surface where you're standing. So feel that energy move through your feet and float the arms around and up. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine to a flat back. Exhale, yogi's choice here. If you want to hop, you can hop back with bent elbows into chaturanga, up dog, down dog. If you're hopping back, maybe try a single leg chaturanga, or you can skip it and step back to down dog. Beautiful bee. Your practice is designed for balance for you, and that's going to look different and feel differently for each person. One of the mind workings, the vritti that we unravel during asana practice is what choice is right for me, and our physical bodies are different, right? So your choice is going to be different from my choice is going to be different from yours. We wipe the slate clean in down dog. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. Open up your mouth and sigh that breath out. And then float that left leg straight up and back, all 5 toes like you're pressing into a wall. Shoulder square, armpit square, roll your left hip on top of your right, bend your left heel over to the right side. This is quite challenging, right? The leg is the one that's opening up, but the shoulders and the arms are parallel. Now, alignment. Lift that back heel, stack your shoulders over your wrists first. It's almost as if you're coming into plank. That gives you the alignment to place that left heel. Maybe take this into flip dog, Las Vegas pose, rock star. Open the heart, soften the gaze, soften the eyes. Left hand comes down. Step that left foot in between your hands, help it up. Hands to blocks here, take your time. Fingers steady, feel a little lift of your pelvic floor. Shift your weight forward, lift that back heel up. Warrior 3. Maybe bring the thumbs to the heart, maybe bring them out to the side or keep them underneath you. Little micro bend on that left knee. Draw that right knee in. Feel free to hold on to that right knee. Softening in the hip. Exhale, right leg next to left. Plug in, Samastiti. Shift your weight over to your right leg. Left leg comes up. I like to circle my hands around and up with this. Palms down the midline of your body. A place for your left foot above or below that right knee. Tree pose. Maybe you take the full extension of the pose. Index finger and thumbs to touch. Gaze up. Lift the heart. Smooth breath here. Feel your body push down, feet pushing down, heart rising up. Hands down the midline of your body, left leg next to right. Stand in your power, stand in your presence. And then circle the arms around and up. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, upward worship. Pour that intelligence over you as you fold forward, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Feel that light charge and transform through the sacrum. Inhale, lengthen, flat back here. Yogi's choice. You can step, you can hop, you can float, you can take a single leg chaturanga, you can skip it. What is the recipe that my body needs today? What type of cookies do I need today? Maybe it's mint chocolate chip, maybe it's chocolate chip, maybe it's oatmeal raisin. No rush, nowhere to get. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. You're going to gaze up at the space between your hands. You're going to hop to the outside. So the feet are going to go to the outside of the pinkies. Going into malasana, squat pose here. A few options, right? So if you have a challenging time, you can place a block or two underneath your seat, but we want to maintain that long spinal connection. So we're going to go into what's called bound tree today. So taking that variation, tree pose is a very grounding pose for anyone that's needing centering right now. Lots of winds, lots of flooding. It's trying to uproot, and we can feel a little bit of uneasiness and steadiness. So moving forward, you might need your strap, right? So just make sure that that's handy. The balance is optional. We start with the thumbs in the middle of the heart. We use the triceps to open up the inner thighs, feet spread wide. Adding on, you can stay here in this posture. You can bring that left arm out, right arm reaches up. Grow the spine. So we have this grounding, this pushing down, but this lifting up. Adding on, you might flip the right palm, send it way behind you, and take a half bind. Show you where my hand is. Right hand is touching my left thigh. Now here's where bound tree happens. The left hand wraps around to the outside of this right knee. I'll show you what this looks like from the back. So I clasp, or if you need a strap, can take it this way. Now, keep peeking up. I'll face the back so you see what I'm doing first, and then I'll face the front. I'm going to shift my weight over to my left foot, heel toe my right foot underneath me. I keep this bind. I shift my weight. I steady on one point. I keep this bind. And I stand straight up. Right? Once you have that, maybe turn your head over to the left side. Again, you can do this with the strap or without. And then notice where you might be fighting or over-efforting, right? Come back to that box breath. Where can I pause? Where can I lengthen the exhalation? Where can I pause? Where can I lengthen the inhalation? Beautiful. And then take your time. Same way we get into a posture is the same way we get out. Integrity and grace. Draw that right foot back down. See if you can keep that bind. Release the arms, thumbs to the middle of the heart. Let's take a moment here as you rock yourself side to side. Nothing to accomplish. Just checking in with how we sway, right? How we sway when the prana blows us in one way or the opposite way. That's what these postures represent. We start on the opposite side. Right hand's going to go to the inside. Actively use your inner thigh to press against your tricep. Left arm's going to reach up. Fingertips reach up. Flip the left palm, send it way behind you. That helps to draw the scapula in towards the spine, gives us more room. Now take that bind or use your strap. And then shift your weight over to your left foot, heel toe this right foot directly underneath your heel. Keeping the bind with or without your strap, press down in that left foot, draw that right leg in. One step at a time. It's okay, I do that all the time. I take a little lap around my, my mat. Once you have that, maybe gaze over that left side shoulder. I steady Same way we come in is the same way we come out. Take your time as you press that right leg down. Unfold from the bind. Palms in the middle of the heart. Beautiful thing about taking malasana squat pose is that we can take the easy way out, right? So hands behind you, have a seat, and this time we're going to elongate the legs. So coming into fan pose, but we are on a seated plane here. If you have a bolster, you're going to take your bolster, prop it with a block, and from here, the outer thighs keep rolling out. Notice that my toes are flexed, right? So we don't want floppy feet. We want to make sure that they are still engaged so that the inner thighs, the groins, are opening up. And then bring your hands a little bit behind you. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, stick your tongue out of your mouth. So no different than what we would be doing if we were taking Karana Mudra in goddess pose or horse stance standing. We're going into the groundedness today, but not into the marshes. So do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, tongue out of the mouth. And this time, fold it forward. If it feels comfortable for you, one ear to one side. If it's too much on your neck, you can build a little pillow fort here. I'll show you with my blanket. You can place a little blanket so that way your nose can breathe. And that's a great way to make sure that the neck is long, that you're not smashing your nose. And again, that's an option if you have any neck issues like I do, or if it's just uncomfortable for you to turn your head. And this is a vulnerable posture. I'm gonna sit up so that way you hear me and my voice isn't getting lost. This is a vulnerable posture because our downward apana vayu is the downward motion of elimination. It's also how we birth what it is we wish to bring into fruition into this world. And when we open up the inner thighs, open up the hips, it can feel as if we are exposing ourselves, right? So just giving you that information, if for any reason at this point you're feeling like you need a blanket over you, do that. Give yourself what you need. If one ear or one side of your body is facing, you can go ahead and switch to the opposite side, other cheek. And if your forehead is in the middle, you can absolutely take that option. A few notes here for those of you that feel comfortable in this posture. If you feel like you don't need the blocks or the props and you'd like to transition into a full forward fold, you can remove the bolsters or the blocks or start to fold forward. Again, you have agency over what feels safe and comfortable for you. We'll give you this one option. So again, full of options. So peek up if you'd like. If you aren't using the bolsters or any props, turtle pose, 𝗔𝗿𝘁𝗀𝘀. This is what this looks like. Little bend in the knee. You slide your hand underneath. So that's something for you to play with if you are interested in taking 𝗔𝗁𝘁𝗀𝘀. I said turtle, it actually translates to tortoise. Little known fact about turtles and tortoises, their spine, a lot of people think that their shell is this hard outer shell. Their spine is so sensitive. Their spine is actually their shell. It is an exoskeleton, but it's actually, there are a lot of nerve endings in the shell of a tortoise or a turtle. And if you look up or Google what a turtle or a tortoise looks like, just a cross-section of their vertebrae, it's quite interesting. The shell is literally their spine. or what would be the equivalent of our spine. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. And whichever variation you are in, if one ear is to one side, we bring the third eye point, forehead back onto your bolster. If you're folded forward in 𝗁𝘁𝗀𝘀, start to walk your hands underneath your shoulders and slowly come up. Take your time as you come up. Pause here for a moment. Use your hands. Hands on the body is a form of giving touch and love to ourselves. So I like to bring one leg in and then the other. Sometimes they can feel like a little bit heavy or a little lead-like from doing those poses. Now, in Dandasana, before we go into it, I want you to bounce the backs of the legs. Backs of the legs are where the unconscious, bringing anything that needs to surface up so it can flood out. It's pulsing, 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 pulsing these legs. Now, just to show how much room we have in our bodies, first thing we're going to do is come into staff pose. Right? So fingertips out to the side, heels slightly scrubbing off of the earth. Feel that connection moving from the top of your crown all the way down, anchoring you. And one more time, we're going to integrate our bound tree and our groundedness. This time taking it on the ground. You're going to slide that right foot in, heel toe your heel to the outside of your seat. Right? So clearly it's outside of my seat. Left hand is going to go to the outside, right arm bicep long by the ear. We reach it forward, and we take this bind seated. Right? So this is part of the Ashtanga primary series, half primary series. Inhale, grow the spine long. Exhale, fold it forward and relax your forehead here. You might be feeling a very delicious, hopefully it's delicious for you, as you anchor that right big toe down, opening in the lower lumbar and sacrum. Now, a few options. You can continue to fold forward, or you can lengthen the spine just to bring it full circle. Roll that left shoulder on top of the right. Spiral the body. You're going to feel this opening up in the rib cage, in the hips. And then slowly let the shoulders round. You can release the hands, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let's draw this right leg in. A few options here. You're going to rock yourself in. Right foot, I know I'm doing the opposite side right now because I'm facing that way. But keep your right foot in, right foot to the left bicep. Hug yourself in. Might feel an opening. This is option 1. You can stay here. Option 2, peace sign fingers, yogic toe lock. You can take it out to the side. Option 3, you can use a strap. It's going into variations on compass pose. Option 4, depending on how you feel, you can lift this right knee up, place it on top of your right side shoulder. Left hand goes to the outside of your right thigh, compass pose. We lift the hip up. Whichever variation you are taking, take a smooth breath here to inhale. And we exhale, all meeting in Dandasana, staff pose one more time. So fingertips out to the side, toes peeling back, lift the arms up, feel that connection, steadiness here, steady and grounded. And then draw that left heel in. Left big toe stays on the ground, left heel to the outside of the butt and hips. Right hand alongside of you, right foot engaged, left arm reaches up. Inhale. Exhale, we reach it forward. Left hand out to the side, grow the spine with a strap or clasping the hands. First one, we fold forward, so we lift the heart, we lift out of the sacrum, nice long back here as we lengthen forward. We can choose to stay in this one. Just to let you know, my right hand is holding my left wrist in this. All right, so this is in case you're not using the strap. We can take this to an opening. You can lengthen the spine, revolve that right shoulder on top of the left. Breathe on the diagonal as you feel the intercostal muscles, the rib cage opening up. And then come back to center if you are opening up to that right side. Grow the spine long. Exhale, release the hands down. Let the hands ground you, and then stack shoulders over your hips. We hug the shin bone in. Left leg reaching in. So I know I'm on the opposite side. Again, it happens. So you can stay here as you take your entire hip and leg, opening it up, drawing that fluidity. Peace sign fingers, yogic toe lock, same hand, same leg, opening out to the side. Can use a strap. I know one side is always a little bit more user-friendly than the other. So again, giving yourself what you need. Or you can try the variation of compass pose, where you place that left knee on top of your left shoulder. Left hand comes out to the side to anchor. Right hand goes to the outside of the left foot. And then we extend. And again, one side is always a little bit more user-friendly, right? This is actually my more open side. The other side affects my scoliosis a lot. But there's no goal to make one side exactly like the other. It's always about honoring how our bodies are. Whichever variation you're in, come back for the last time today into Dandasana, staff pose. Let your buttocks adjust to hold your hip bones. Peel the toes back so the heels scrub off of the earth, and feel your head floating, right? So never any tension in the neck. Feel your head floating so much that the arms float up. Divinely connected, divinely tethered. Feel yourself grounded and at the same time expanding up. And as you're ready, roll down one vertebrae at a time. We'll take fish pose today as a counter pose. So feel free to draw the forearms underneath you. You'll lift the heart, a little back bend here, and then the top of the crown comes back. Again, my neck isn't collapsing. There's a little bit of lift here out of the rib cage. And then slowly let your body come back to the earth. And as we take a few moments to let the body settle in, go ahead and roll your legs completely in, not just your ankles, but the entire leg. So in and out, in and out. Any last minute adjustments you might need to make for you. After postures like that, for me, I would prefer to take conscious rest or constructive rest, right? So that allows for the tailbone and the sacrum to be level, the feet are underneath the knees, and hands can stay up or on your body. If you prefer to take a full shavasana with the legs extended, you can place a bolster today, maybe underneath your thighs. It's a great way to also just give yourself a little bit of lift, but still protecting the low back. And then when you get to your desired level of comfort for rest, lift the head and reposition your head back down to the earth. Lift your shoulders and realign your shoulders to the space between the shoulder blades. Rests. Might lift the hips and the buttocks. Let your tongue soften into your jaw. Let your eyes roll back into their sockets. And let yourself now feel the expansion. That is outside of you, but inside of you. It's not really outside. We are more than matter. We are pure energy, pure light, made up of wavelengths and waveforms. Let yourself now come back to the box breath and inhale for a count of 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Pause for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. We take that 2 more times. Inhaling for 3, 2, 1. Retain 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Retain 3, 2, 1. Last time, inhale 3, 2, 1. Pause, retain 3, 2, 1. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Pause 3, 2, 1. Let the natural rhythm of your inhalation and exhalation now slowly rise and fall without manipulating, but simply resting in this balance. like a drop merging back into the infinite ocean of pure consciousness, pure light, pure intelligence. Let your breath breathe you. Open up your mouth and release that breath out. Take your time and reach your arms up overhead and stretch one side longer than the opposite side. Gather your knees in. Give yourself a tight hug and a tight squeeze here. Take your time as you roll over to one side. Let your body guide you. Make your way to a comfortable seat and let your head arrive last. Press the palms to the heart and feel this merging of duality, opposites, but one sign, one gesture. And in the times that we can feel like we're being pulled in opposite directions, the place and the space that grounds us, that brings us back to light, love, where our individual expression is and resides, 𝗔𝗿𝘁𝘀𝘀𝘀, is in the heart. So bow down to the intelligence and the wisdom that is always inside of you and let it help illuminate. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat. Bring your practice and your conscious creativity into everyday life. Namaste. Seal the practice, Surya Mudra. Right hand makes a fist. Press it below the navel as you cover it with the left hand. Feel a subtle lift of the pelvic floor. Come straight back up.